I think it depends. I had a friend over last night. He was watching football with us, and he was telling me how his wife, I believe she's 300 pounds, and he loves it. He thinks she's gorgeous, and he thinks I need to gain weight to look more like her, and he said that jokingly. So for him, weight gain isn't an issue, and that's great. For me personally, and for my partner, we've agreed to do our best to maintain the package that we came into the relationship with. Because for one, health is important. We have children that we want to stick around for many years to come. We want to be there for them. So we need to take care of ourselves. We need to make sure we're doing at least minimal exercise and not putting toxic things into our body. We just want to maintain a standard of health for them. But also, I'm human, and like anyone else, I have a certain type that attracts me, and I want my man to be in relatively good physical shape. I like eye candy like anyone else. And for him, I feel like because I love him, I want to do that for him too. I want to commit to keeping myself in the same condition, if not better, than when he first met me, when we first started dating. For me, that means not putting on more than 5, 10 pounds max. It means not drastically changing my appearance. And I'm okay with that. That's something we agreed to. It may not be for everyone. And some women feel like, you know what, I can gain weight and I can chop my hair off and I don't have to discuss it. And that's great. If that works for someone else, so be it. But my partner and I, we have a standard that we'd like to maintain, and it works for us.
Hey, what's up? I'm attracted to bigger men. I love me a teddy bear. Um, However, I love me a healthy teddy bear. I want a man who's gonna last. I want a man who um, isn't going to develop any type of medical conditions that could interfere in our relationship. And honestly, diabetes can interfere in a relationship because um, when your blood sugar is too high or too low, you get, mood swings and things of that nature. And it's just not cool. I'm not saying that these things can't happen, or other medical conditions can't happen, but doing it to yourself is a whole nother thing, I think, in my opinion. Um, I don't know about keeping the same packaging that you showed up in because, you're going to change. Bodies change. It's what happens when you become a mother, and it's what happens when you get older. I mean, things aren't just as easy as they once were. And so I think that's a little bit of an unfair expectation. However, I do think that communication and really remembering to love and respect yourself is important on both ends inside of a relationship. Just like I would like my significant other to take into consideration, his health, I need to take into consideration mine and make sure that I'm making good decisions. Are we going to be perfect? No, because I'm not a size, 2, nor will I ever be. Um, but at the same time, I'm not going to be a size 22 either, you know what I mean? Um, you just have to take care of yourself, and you have to love and appreciate and respect one another enough to say, hey, you know what? I love you and that's not going to change, but you're starting to become unhealthy and I'm not finding it, all that attractive. And I want to help you become more healthier. So what can we do to make that happen? You know what I mean? But a lot of couples don't know how to approach each other like that. A lot of it is like, nah, you're cool, but at the corner of their eye, they're checking out some other girl or some other guy. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I think it really does depend on the couple. Some people are really emotionally and mentally attached and connected, and physical just doesn't matter to them at all. Um, and then, for some people, like with me and my husband, it does actually matter to us. We both do want to try and stay in shape and keep, looking attractive for one another, with the view to the fact that as you get older, there are things in your body that are going to change. You're going to have some weight gain. Um, we understand all that because we are in it for, the long haul. And so we both want to look attractive to one another, but it's not expecting like the package that we came into the marriage with. I'm not going to walk around in half shirts like I did in my 20s. I don't have those abs anymore, and he doesn't have those kind of abs either. So, there's staying attractive, but within reason, according to age and doing as much as you can. Now, probably I feel like it's more important for me to stay in shape for my husband more than him staying in shape for me. I probably could, still feel very physically attracted even if he was out of shape. But I feel like for most men, they really do have, whether they're visually able to see or whether it's a hands-on experience, they do prefer a woman who's very much in shape. But that's not all men, I know. So it just really depends on each couple.
Well, there's another aspect to look at too, and that is when the children see that it is okay for the parents to gain weight, then the children, because they emulate the parents, of course, then they start putting all the chips and the cheese curls and all the unhealthy stuff into their body, and then by the time you know it, your child is obese and you're wondering what happened. So that's something else to factor into this whole scenario. And so that is my common sense. Yeah, well, I think it is common sense too. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the whole topic. Hope it helps. God bless.
Hello, how are you? My name is Jorge Fialo from Chicago, Illinois. Yes, weight is an issue, not only because it affects the person's health, but it also affects insurance. This is why now most insurance are providing wellness programs for free, such as memberships to fitness clubs or to see a nutritionist for free, because by doing that, they lower the cost of medical bills that they don't have to pay. So, unfortunately, obesity in this country is to the point that even our military has problems finding people to join because sometimes they tend to be obese or overweight. So anybody who says there is not an issue are having some denial, or they are doing the stretch symbol, which means hiding your head under the sand and pretend there is no issue. So yes, there is an issue regarding health and weight in this country, sadly, but it is. Otherwise, insurance will not be providing wellness programs.
Well, that's great, and one thing as far as I'm concerned, I'm heavily obese. I'm at about 454, about 5'11 and a half, and I should be probably at about 220. But, in general, I think that some people look at relationships for the wrong reasons, to be fair about it. There's a lot of great people out there who might not look exactly the way that you might want them to look, and maybe they've got good personalities, maybe they've got a heart of gold, and maybe there's much more to them than you realize, but when people are too focused on looks, they miss out on some of those things. But anyway, hope you have a wonderful and blessed new year.